Paul Wheeler here at Wheeler Healthy You. Today is Strength Tuesday, and I'm going to take you through another full body workout. I'm just going to show you each exercise. Each exercise is done in 30 seconds, and you get about a 5-second transition, and then you go again for another 30 seconds. The workout's about 8 to 12 minutes, depending on if you do 2 or 3 sets, or even less if you want to just start with 1 set. So follow along, and I'll show you each exercise that you're going to do, and we'll get a little bit of endurance in there, a little bit of power, a little bit of strength, and a little bit of core. Okay? So the first exercise, it's all really full body exercises, is you're going to grab medium weight. All this can be done without any weight as well, just be going through the range of motion. And so first one is a squat to shoulder press. So there's a couple options here. You're gonna squat down and you're gonna press up. Okay, so you squat down and you press up, and you just go as low as you feel comfortable. If having the weights up is a little bit, doesn't work for you, it's uncomfortable, or if your positioning is a little off, so if you tend to squat and you really lean forward too much, that's gonna put way more strain on your back. If you can stay more upright and squat and keep the weight in line with your midfoot, then you should be good up there. So the other option is you squat and you do a bicep curl, shoulder press. Okay, so that's the first one. Second one, so you do that for 30 seconds. Second one is a deadlift. So you come down, you do a deadlift, but then you row. So it's deadlift and row. So it's a little bit more active because you're moving up and down. You're not just holding it here. You're going down and pulling up, down and pulling up. So it's a little bit more, a little bit harder to do. If you need to separate the two, that's fine. The biggest thing is that you're really holding in those abs. Those abs are pulling in, those glutes are really firing to support that position. And again, it can be done without any weights too. You can add your own resistance. The next one you can do with weight, but I'll show you both. So you have a wider squat thrust. So the point of this is, if you get really narrow, a lot of people tend to over flex, where you need a lot of abs and a lot of glutes. So what I want to try to do is go wide, and you could say it's a burpee just without a push-up. You go down, and you can step back, come forward, and then come back up. Sometimes with that wider stance, if you get a wider stance, you can kind of sit a little bit more in between your legs. Versus being here, a lot of people tend to, again, overflex. So if you squat down, you can jump back as well, come forward, and come back up. So I'll show you from the front. So you're here, see how my legs go wide, you jump back, legs go wide so you can get your hips really underneath you, and then drive up with the legs, and then you bring your arms up. Okay, if you want to do it with the weights and progress it a little bit, do the same idea. You would go down, wide stance, think a deadlift squat combo to get that depth. And then you're gonna kick back, come forward, nice deadlift position, and you stand back up. For the weights, I won't have you go all the way up because we already did that. Okay? So that's the wide squat thrust, or the wide burpee without a push-up. The next is mountain climbers. The difference is, instead of going straight up with the knee, you're gonna go across. Okay? Now I see a lot of people, when they do mountain climbers, they'll over flex their spine. I prefer not to do that, especially for any of my back clients. But try to just drive, crossing the knee to the opposite elbow. But you're trying to prevent movement of the spine, and you're pulling in, and only going through that range where that spine can stay in kind of a neutral position. So we're really strengthening in neutral versus again overly flexing the spine which is a position that most of us, or a lot of us, are in too much in the day as it is. And it sometimes creates too much stress on the spine as well. All right, so that's the fourth exercise. 2 more. Next, we're gonna go into kind of some lateral strength. And this is kind of where the power can come in, depending on how fast you go. So if you want to just do a side step, you can do that. If you want to add the jump to it, you can do that. And this is kind of where you get the power. So you're trying to push and land, push and land. And then you can also vary it to the more advanced, where you reach down. So you're powering from one leg to the other, and you're working in that lateral plane, and you're getting that nice hip hinge, so it's a lot of glute activation, and you're working obliques, okay? So that's the fifth, the last exercise, another combo here. Sometimes you have to lighten the weight for this. And I'm not a huge fan of the upright row, because it tends to close off the shoulder joint, and if anything will cause more issues than benefit. But if you change it to, you go here and you pull up to here, now we're opening up the shoulders at the top rather than closing them off. I'll exaggerate it a little bit, but so from here and then to here, and I got a little bend in my knees, so I'm still kind of lifting from my legs a little bit, and then I bring them up to the here. Okay, so it's kind of an upright row to external rotation, what I call it. So here to here. Okay, so 30 seconds of that. And then that's the whole series. And then I usually have clients take a 1-minute break, or have the class take a 1-minute break, and then repeat. All right, so you've got your squat, and shoulder press, 30 seconds. If you want to do the bicep curl instead, do that. You have your deadlift row. You have your wide squat thrusts, or wide burpees. Wide stance, getting low, step back, and then you bring your arms up, or use weights. And then you've got your crossbody mountain climbers, 30 seconds, and skaters to get that lateral plane. And then the last one is that upright row to external rotation. All right, so that's full body. You get some pulls in there, you get some pushes in there, you get some stability in there, and you even get some lateral power movement in there. And that's it. All right, if you'd like to join the classes, the class schedule is online. It's all virtual instead of in person right now, but they're there. The only exception is Saturdays at 10 o'clock is not online. Is not on my website. Okay, WheelerHealthyU.com. Let me know what you think, and I will make sure to do that.